that break, glad you're still watching Science Breakfast with me, Alan Habert, and Sign Language interpreter is Anne Wairimu. And these are the stories that are making headlines in the country. We started off with Energy Ministry intensifies probe into power outage. And the Lake Turkana wind power farm will remain closed as the government intensifies its probe into the nationwide blackout that plunged the country into darkness. Here are the full details.
We are having some engineers, about 50 of them, looking at the time logs for the blackout that occurred, and that lasted for over 15 hours. Let's confirm what is afflicting, where the challenge came from, correct that challenge, and bring them back to the network. We know they are commercial interest. They are losing money. And even as we hold them back, we've invited them to come to Suswa to basically look at the audit log with us, and not for a blame game, but confirm where the challenge is coming from and correct that challenge and be able to secure our country together. We don't see any challenge in terms of load shedding. It's not a problem which we want to correct it by end of today, tomorrow. As soon as, like I mentioned to you, when your house drips, you don't go and switch it back on. You can burn the house. Kenyans must answer this question. Has G2G been useful? Is it time to go back to spot market? Is the dollar market, the macroeconomics stable? Are the US Fed rates, interest rates, gone back to where they ought to be? Or do we go back to a situation where we are scrambling for dollars in the market? The interbank could easily widen again. Today, those dollars are held in the country for at least 180 days. And that gives us a window to stabilize the market, because petroleum was being used to address the macro issues of dollar unavailability in the country, because it was sucking about, it sucks about $500 million every month. And therefore, by slowing down the exiting of the dollars, it helps us to address the rest of the economy.
Some of you will ask me the question, what will happen on the 14th? Based on the conversation we're having today, that August cargoes are more expensive than July cargoes, it gives you a clear indication of where we'll be going in the next pricing cycle.
If the debate is, do we price July or do we price August? August is going to be more significantly expensive. And so is October and November until we go through winter. And some of what's happening in the refurbishment and servicing of the oil refineries in the where the product comes from. So we need to answer that question together.
Kenya Power for project delays. The Housing Ministry has cited Kenya Power as a stumbling block to the government's affordable housing project. Housing Principal Secretary Charles Hinga accused Kenya Power of frustrating government housing projects by deliberately failing to install consumer electricity meters as already finished units waiting to be occupied.
Issue of power is generally a big problem for us, because if you look, Chair, and I know it's a subsequent question, when we paid Kenya Power for this thing, because we have paid for them to get power to the site, sometimes it is 2-3 years down the road, you still don't have power connection. Sometimes you have to write to the PS himself, then they tell you, I don't know, there's a court moratorium on them bringing meters. It is a real nightmare on the power side to implement projects.
But let it not be that you are the ones who are frustrating the good work by the government. And this is something which has been witnessed in most of the government functionaries. Like even the blackout and the blackout at the airport. You know, if it was a private entity, there should have been an automatic backup generator.
When he talked of Kenya Power, and I know the process of Kenya Power, it involves a lot of lobbying. You have to move and pressure them to do their work. So there is a problem there, Bwana PS. and it could be a problem of follow-ups. And maybe you can explain and see how you can improve on that.
Let me tell you what is the problem. And you will find it in many of our projects. When you have a completed project that is not occupied, you know the decay is way faster than when you have people living in there. They open the doors, they open the windows. Here you don't open anything. So when you go and look at those houses now in Mavoko, we are likely to have to go and redo some of the works because they've stayed idle for so many years.
We're from PS Hinga to victims of an overseas jobs scam protest in Eldoret. Hundreds of victims of First Choice Recruitment Agency foreign jobs scam staged demonstrations in Eldoret town to push for compensation. Human rights activists in the region now say the chief executive officer of the First Choice Recruitment Agency, Judy Jepchirchir, continues to enjoy police protection despite being implicated in the multi-million scam that left victims depressed and indebted, even as they vow to hold daily demos in order to compel relevant state agencies to act.
40,000 na nililipia my daughter. At the moment nililipa pesa nikaambiwa you wait na ili backfire. So to me I need my money.
Nililipia watoto wawili wavulana, first born na second born. Niliuza shamba, nikauza kishagi, nikauza ng'ombe. Judith alitudanganya. Kwa saizi kijana wangu alitoweka.
Statements iliandikwa. It's now almost 4 months. Nothing is happening. IG of police. We are told Judith alileta pesa kwa ofisi yake. That is why this file is not moving. We are calling out from IG of police. Judy should be arrested within the shortest time possible.
Judy ni above the law. Mumona mamchona.
Judy akatu promise anatupeleka Perth, Australia. I was supposed to go to Sydney where my sister was, but alisema yeye ni sure. So my father akaomba loan. Aliomba 800,000.
Nililipa 50,000, ilikuwa ni travel niende Qatar na niliuza kipande cha ardhi huko.
How does she feel? Na nikiongea hivi I lost my father through this. Tulifuata hii pesa sana. Na yeye anajua kabisa babangu vile alikuwa. Ni mtu focus sana, anapenda education.
Wazingishu now to president rules out privatization of state owned.
Mtu yeyote ambaye anapanga ati kuiba pesa ya serikali, my friend, tafuta
intense even vicious battle for the control of the insolvent Mumias Sugar Company. Here are the full details.
Mtu yeyote ambaye anapanga ati kuiba pesa ya serikali, my friend, tafuta nchi ingine. Mimi nimewaambia hawa wakora wote, wezi wote, matapeli, nimesema hawa watu mambo yao ni tatu. Si ndio? Either wahame Kenya, ama waende jela, ama waende mbinguni. Hakuna dawa ingine. Sijui kama naelewana. Mnataka mtu akuja aibe pesa yetu hapa? Mimi nalete pesa hapa 500 million inapotea. Nalete 1 billion inapotea. 500, kwani sasa? Hapana. Hapana, ikai namna hiyo. Sijui kama tumeelewana. Mmekubali wezi wote tuwafukuze? Maneno ya wezi ni ngapi? Wahame Kenya, waende jela, ama waende mbinguni. Maneno hiyo imeishia hapo.
Saying on the president, he also continued and declared the president ruled out privatization of state-owned mills and also declared war on individuals behind the collapse of sugar company. All this is on his tour or during his tour in Western Kenya.
Uliamuka mapema, kuna makateli, wakora, matapeli, wako pale. Sijui huyu anapeleka huyu kotini. Mwingine anasema sijui alinunua ile cogen facility hapo. Oh, mwingine alisema alifanya nini? Mimi nimewaambia hawa watu wote, hakuna mtu ako na kitu hapo. Hawa wakora wote watoke. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Nimewaambia hawa watu wote hapo watoke. Hiyo kampuni ni kampuni ya wananchi na tutaipangia upya. Hakuna kesi entertain hapo. Kesi watoe na wao wenyewe watoke. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Tunaelewana? Na nimewaambia mambo ni mangapi? Matatu. Wakitaka kuniletea kisirani, either wahame Kenya ama nitawaweka jela ama wasafiri waende mbinguni.
The president, we come to the end of the news that are making headlines in the country. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're coming back with stories that are making headlines in the dailies. Keep it silent.